direction my agency wants me to go in now, because they've kind of pushed me into a different kind of like edgy, like cool vibe,
High
like
fashion.
yeah, but you could still do both is the thing. So there's so many high fashion girls that do Sports Illustrated. So
Yep.
I think I'm going to maybe go down that route one day, but I think right now not Sports Illustrated. But it is an interesting question, and it's something I actually think about because it's such an iconic brand, and we've been talking for so long about potentially doing Sports Illustrated.
No,
I don't
I had
know. It's a hard because it's so sexy. Um and I mean, but also once you do, I don't know. There's so many things that go into it, but it is an awesome brand for
Yeah,
sure.
no, because I had Carol Alt, who's one of the original supermodels, and she was
Yeah,
on with me, and she's like, I still go back, I still look at these, and it just really is
yeah,
interesting. Like, it is one of those coveted things that so many models
yeah.
want.
No, absolutely. It's also like once you do it, like you are a Sports Illustrated model. Like
Right?
that. There's not many jobs like that. Where it's like you're now branded with you're associated with a brand forever.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Isabella Hamilton wants to know, what's been your favorite job so far?
My favorite job. I love shooting anything video. So I did the Kygo music video for that was one of my favorite jobs for sure.
What song was that?
It was Like It Is, and it was with Zara Larson and Tyga and Kygo. It was like a three artist collab song. And my friend Meredith was in it. My friend Sam was shooting back BTS behind the scenes. So it was just like a really enjoyable 2 days. And we were just basically like our job was just like dancing around in our room. I love shooting video. So like if it's video and like if they press record and opposed to a still,
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. Like I love shooting video. I just think I thrive more in video. So I was so excited to be filming video. Also too, when I signed when I started doing modeling, and a big reason why I wanted to do modeling, like why I said yes to it, was I was like, maybe I can be in like a music video. So that was, and this is one of music video I've done, but I think it was the most enjoyable to film. It
I
was
mean,
really
so fun.
and yeah, it was just like working with your friends. Like I didn't even feel like I was at work. It was definitely a very fun job, and the whole vision was so great. It was like 70s kind of retro theme, so it was just fun.
That's
Period.
also, Kygo's like the ultimate music also to dance to, I
Yeah,
feel like, on
yeah. No,
set. Right?
I'd gone to like Kygo concerts as a kid, so that was super interesting and surreal. I was like,
Yeah, so awesome. You also did something film related with Lucas Sabat. He directed a short film.
how do you know about this?
Am I not supposed to know?
No, I was like, I didn't even know that this was like public knowledge. No, but absolutely, yeah,
Okay. What was it like working with him? You have so many friends, who
yeah.
are obviously in the industry. What is it like to be able to collaborate, with these
Um,
personalities?
so that was my first acting anything. So Luca and Duke Nicholson started writing a short film over quarantine, and Luca lives at the Chateau Marmont, and so he had the idea to film this at Chateau, and basically the girl they wanted in the movie to play Duke's love interest just looked like me, I think. And so she had a very specific look, and they asked me to be in it, and I was like so flattered. I was like, you guys are great actors. I don't act. I just want to reiterate that
Okay.
I don't act. um and I flew back to LA because I had to go back to LA, and it was really fun working with them. They're so good. It's so intimidating, especially Duke. Like Duke is um just such an insane talent. Just seeing him act, because Duke was kind of like the whole movie. But it was very interesting. We're not finished wrapping. I think my most of my parts are done, but it's supposed to be a very um dream like movie at Chateau Marmont, and it doesn't really make that much sense, but it's very beautiful, and it's all shot on film.
So
So
cool.
so that's what I'm very excited about. I'm excited to see. I'm so nervous for my performance because I got for most of the scenes because this was their first movie. I got like my lines like 30 minutes before, so I was like,
That's
um,
crazy. That's like no
yeah,
time.
yeah, it will be a really cool creative project no matter what. Like I'm very excited to see this.
That is so awesome. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love that. Obviously, one of your really closest friends is Kaya Gerber. Did you guys ever get to work together? I feel like you've worked with so many of your friends. Have you guys ever shot together?
We've actually never shot together.
Huh.
I can't It's hard because I think she has such a tight rein on what she shoots with. It's easier with kind of my friends who we would work on all the same jobs. Like Kaya started so high that we've never worked together. But I would love to work with Kaya. We've worked for the same jobs, but never on the same jobs.
Together.
It's
Interesting.
hard. Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to get booked to work with your friends. It happens quite rarely, um, which is sad. And the days that I do work with my friends, like as I brought up, are my favorite jobs because it's not work and it's so chill. And you do have to create some sort of chemistry with the people that you're with. So if you have that existing already, it's so much easier and so much more fun.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's so hard to get booked on the same jobs as your friends.
I feel like that's something most people would not expect because when you think of like the group of
Yeah.
top models, like you are sort of like a select few. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to think that.
Yeah. Well, you want it to happen and it does happen, and those images are usually the ones the models themselves will blow up and advertise the most because they're like, I look out with my friend, like let's go. But it's really not as common as you think.
Interesting. What's the best piece of advice that Kaya's given you, or has she given you any advice?
It's interesting because none of us really talk about work ever. Like it's
Interesting.
kind of I've noticed not even just in modeling, but in any friend group period, work is kind of like off limits in a weird way. And because everyone has their own thing going on and everyone's going at different paces too. So it's kind of like we all just it's not on the table. Like we all just kind of talk about, but which I really enjoy because it just makes life a little more light and fun. Like no one's talking about work, no one's talking about what they have coming up. It's kind of just like we all come together and we're all friends.
And you have fun. That's really nice.
Yeah,
Like
no,
really nice.
I actually do really like that. And it's something I've carried on, I think, into all of my relationships. I just don't really bring up work. It's kind of like you'll see it when I post it, but like I don't need to talk about it, you know?
But you separate it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. So good. People are asking here if you use TikTok, but what do you think about Reels on Instagram? Is that something you're going to get into?
I don't know. I mean, TikTok, if TikTok stays as an app, if it stays in America, um, I think I'll start using it more just because it's such a powerful platform. I feel like I'd be stupid not to use it. I have like five TikToks, but they're all kind of like stupid. Um, but they've all kind of blown up in their own way. So I feel like I should go into TikTok. I've gotten a lot of questions to do style TikToks, which I think that I'll do. I was making TikToks last night actually, like as a joke, but
Oh,
I
really?
don't post them.
You should save
Um,
them.
I know they're all in my drafts. I have so many drafts. But I think I will do TikTok. Instagram Reel, I didn't really understand. It's kind of like, is it like IGTV Live
It's
kind
like
of thing?
TikTok, but on Instagram. So it's the
Oh,
same
okay.
like 15-second concept. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. It's like people are liking it. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
for example, like my engagement on there is so high. It's
Mm-hmm.
super interesting to see, but people are having fun with it.
Well, I will definitely see what Instagram Reel is. I don't even
Gotta
know
check it
what
out.
that is. Obviously, I know what TikTok is, but yeah, I think I'll have to get into TikTok a little bit. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so addicting. That app is so creative. It's insane.
It is. It's so true. Speaking of your style, I mean, I have a cousin of mine who's just about to enter college. She is obsessed, her name's Nicole, obsessed with how you dress. How do you describe your style? What are some of like your go-to brands? You just are always so effortless and cool.
Thanks. I don't know actually what my style even is because it's all over the map. It is truly whatever I want to wear. And I think to I don't know. I feel like my heart runs half tomboy, half girly girl since I was a kid. Like I would do fashion shows, but for my mom, but then also show up to school in sweatpants. I would show up to parties in boxers, like when I was like 15. Like I was old enough to know better. But so I don't know. I really go in between those two. So I think my style is whatever. My style really changed when I stopped asking everybody, like, what do you think of this? Or like, what do you think of this? Or what should I wear? And I was like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And that really changed my style because I then was only listening to myself. And I think that's honestly the key to style. Look in the mirror, and if you think it looks good and you really think it looks good, wear it. You know, do your thing. I've also always loved style, and as a kid wanted to be a fashion designer. So it's
Really?
something, yeah, it's something that's very much a part of me is a love for clothes and um, definitely having some sort of like knowledge behind that. But I think like go-to brands for basics, I always recommend RUMI. They're so awesome. And
Rumi
for
Neely, the best.
they're so great. And then for crazier stuff like and good basics for this that's affordable prices, um IMGA has really cute fun stuff. They have great pants and really fun pants.
Yep.
And Brandy Melville, I know these are like kind of three widely known stores, but they really do have good pieces. And especially Brandy has every single thing, and it's super affordable for everybody. So those are my, and then I thrift a lot. I thrift so much stuff.
Cool.
But yes, to your point, I definitely like to have some sort of element that's not too dressed up always. Because I love being dressed up, and especially having those moments where I'm heels, dress, this. Like that's so fun for me, and I love that. But definitely day to day, I'm not. There's an element that's like whether it's like construction boots or like Air Force Ones. Like there's a part of me that's like very dressed
Keep
down.
it chill.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
think that's
love
part of
that.
my style, I think.
It's funny with Brandy Melville, even now, because I'm outside of New York in the Hamptons, the line during even now with Corona to get into Brandy Melville is like wrapped around the block. It's crazy.
That store is so good. It
I
really
know.
is. Like I hate saying it because it's such a quintessential store and everyone knows it anyways, but it
It does the
It's
job,
so
right?
good. Yeah.
I know. People want to know, do a podcast. What's going on with your
Yeah.
podcast?
Okay, so yes, I am doing a podcast. That's what I got. The whole COVID situation has halted everyone's process of everything pretty much. So I know I'm not alone in that, but I did get podcast equipment for Christmas. That's what I asked for my mom was podcast equipment. And she did. So I have everything set up for a podcast. And I think I will, as soon as I get my apartment in LA and I get my footing, I will be able to start that. But yeah, with podcast, it's kind of similar to the whole aspect of like psychology. I have a Tumblr where I just go in on different topics, and my podcast would just be an extension of that, where I can really get into things. Also, too, I don't think that there's many female podcasters out there and doing the thing that I would want to be doing. It's kind of an open lane, and it's the one thing that I have real faith in myself I could do well naturally. Like that is something I think I could do well, is that, and I'm confident saying that. Modeling was not one of them, but podcasting, yeah,
You could do.
I think I could actually really do well.
So who would be like your dream guest to have on there?
Dream guest. That's hard. I mean, my dream guest, that's so hard. I actually don't know. Because I go.
Or it doesn't have to be a dream, or someone who you definitely want to bring on.
I would bring on all of my friends. So all of my friends would be like the first guests on the podcast. And obviously reach for whoever I could get. But I would love to interview other podcasters. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting intellectuals out there that I would love to have on my podcast, but I don't know if that's interesting to everyone else. But I don't know. It's hard to say who my dream guests would be because I know already like some of them they're gonna be. I don't know. You have to come back to me on
We'll
that. I
stay
don't know
tuned
who,
on
like,
that.
my
When
number
can we
one is.
expect the first episode?
First episode, I my podcast, like, I have no idea what direction I'm going to take this in, but I do have a bunch of friends on board already ready to film it, but it is all going to be in later terms. I'm very excited about it.
I feel like it's gonna randomly. You're just gonna announce it one day. You're not even gonna like give us a warning.
100%. That is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
100%. But no, I'm very excited about the podcast.
That's awesome. What else have you been up to during quarantine? Obviously, these are not easy times for everyone. Everyone's kind of stuck at home. It's hard. What have you been doing to stay sane?
To stay sane during this time has been randomly very easy for me. I think just not paying too close attention to the negative news every day has been great. Getting outside, I know you're supposed to stay inside, but alone, doing everything alone.
Yep.
I was stuck in London when this all went down, so I was going to the park alone just for like 6 hours and just sitting there and chilling and thinking about stuff. I think it's very therapeutic just to have solitude and just be alone with your thoughts. I think that's like what's kept me sane. Because it's friends are normally what keep me sane. Like I'm a super social person and I get my happiness a lot from my friends.
Yeah.
But when you can't have that in quarantine, I do see a lot of benefit from being completely alone and just kind of living without that. I don't really take on the stress of other people and other things as much, which it's something I think I get from my dad. Um, but so I haven't been that stressed over COVID. I've been worried about what this is all going to turn into, but there's no point in me getting riled up for myself. The best thing I can do is actually stay calm and hopefully have that be passed on to people. So I've been just enjoying my alone time and staying positive because this is a very interesting part of history, and the fact that we're all a part of it's kind of cool. And our kids will ask about this time in our lives, and it's very interesting. It's really cool seeing like a bunch of people with masks on the street, especially when it's cool. There's so many ways to look at this, and obviously it's a tragedy in many ways, but it's nonetheless significant and it's very interesting. So
It's true. It's a very mature outlook.
yeah.
You're a very old soul. I've got to tell you.
Thanks.
Tom wants to know: have you been watching a TV show during quarantine?
I've been watching podcasts. I'm a big podcast watcher. I watch Joe Rogan's podcast pretty much every single day. So TV shows, I actually haven't been watching TV shows. I've gotten into films more because I think I think filming the movie with Luca really put things into perspective in terms of what movies I should be watching and what real cinema is out there. Because I was watching more amazing films. So that's kind of what I've been doing this quarantine. It's just films and podcasts. But I actually can't say I've been watching TV shows.
Very cool, though. Everyone likes the podcast. We're going to ask one more question, and then I know you have to go. Lexi wants... Very cool, though. Everyone likes the podcast. We're going to ask one more question, and then I know you have to go. Lexi wants to know, what is your holy grail makeup product?
Okay, it's really random. But I would be lying if I said this wasn't my holy grail.
Are you going to show us?
Yeah, I'll show you. This is, I've been using this since I was like 14. I found it and I haven't found a better makeup product. It's called Ket Cosmetics foundation.
Never heard of that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I have to show them because I know it's super random. It's so good. It's a cream foundation. It's the most natural, like, pretty foundation ever. I saw one makeup tutorial where I'm buying it, and I haven't found anything, even being on set getting my makeup done constantly. This is my favorite foundation I've ever used.
I love this. It was like not what I was expecting to be your answer.
I know it's so random, and I tell every time
to be your answer.
I know it's so random, and I tell every time someone asks me what my favorite thing, I'm like, this is my favorite thing. Like I'm telling you, this is so awesome. and it lasts forever. So
and you get it online, just like those
Years.
10 years. Yeah. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time. I know you have to get to your shoot. I so appreciate it. And you were awesome. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
You're
So
so
good
sweet.
to meet you. Take care. Thank you. So are you.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see. Did it go? I don't know if you guys can. Bye.
Bye.